So this is a Kahoot. What this is, it's all encompassing. This is all of week one information. This is a great place to go as a study guide. As you're seeing the concepts come up, these are concepts that you need to understand. Now, if you don't understand it, what do? Go back to your book. Do you know how to make up your own case studies in SharePath if you want to? I need to learn something about nutrition in an infant. You could do a case study, and I could show that to you on SharePath if you want. I think it's a great thing to have because it gives you all the answers, and the answers are all, research based. So it's a great thing. All right, let's go. Who wants to win today? Michelle, are you going to win? Or you, Siobhan? Sierra wants to win. I see you.
It's on, Siobhan. It's on.
Oh,
I'm
there we
kidding.
go.
I'm kidding.
Just do your best. This is a helpful tool for you. A multi-select. Erickson's autonomy versus shame and doubt is used to describe toddlers. What does it mean? What's the shame and what's the doubt? And what's autonomy? Automatically me, mine. Autonomy, me. That's how I remember this one. Toddlers, they are automatically me, mine, I want to do, right? So they want to do it themselves. You need to let them try. The problem is the helicopter mom who doesn't let them try things themselves, right? Now, toddlers play by themselves. They do something what we call parallel play, as in you have a toddler here, parallel to each other. I'm playing with my toys, they're playing with their toys, and there's no sharing. I'm playing, you're playing next to each other. Parallel play, that's all that means. A multi. Erickson describes infants as trust versus mistrust. What does trust mean? I think I have about 6 questions on the theorists throughout this PowerPoint, this Kahoot, just for you to try to keep you understanding the differences. What's that word that you can remember these by? So infants, and when I trust, I'm secure, I know what's coming next, and I'm happier. If somebody has to cry a long time to get someone, that is what we call mistrust. That could be in that house where there's drug abuse or, some abuse going on and they're just not paying attention to the child. So that is mistrust. You want a happy baby. Children become picky eaters at what age? Now, there's a difference between a picky eater and an eating disorder, okay? We know, and this is the answer, infants eat anything you put in their mouth. Have you ever tried to taste the cereal or the formula, what it tastes like, or the food?
Nasty.
Blech. It's very bland and it's just not nice. And the kids eat it like it's going out of style, right? Well, something happens when they become toddlers. And all of a sudden, their taste buds change and they become picky eaters. They even say toddlers, because they become so picky, they almost end up in physiologic anorexia. But it's normal. It's normal. Toddlers like their chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese, apple juice, and they don't want to eat the salads and the broccolis and the whatever else. It's part of it, and that's part of toddlers. How are feeding behaviors often affected in children with autism? Now, this adds another layer to it. You've got a child that you're trying to feed, and now they're autistic. What do we know about autistic children and eating? The problem is sometimes autistic children, it's texture. They don't like it chunkier. They don't like it mushy, or they really have a hard time with that things. And they ended up with only a few things that they will eat, like the chicken nuggets, macaroni, or apple juice. It's because of texture or taste. They just cannot have anything. They're the most difficult children, toddler, autistic to feed. CDC growth charts are recommended for patients of what age range? So you go to the doctor, you're there with your child, and you get your height and weight every visit, right? And there's that chart, and they plot it on the thing. I mean, we know we use growth charts to see if they're where they need to be within recommended normals, but it's from early to late. It's from, we're making sure, are they growing the way they should? Which is the correct order for development of gross motor skills in infants? So hold their head up, and then they roll over about 5 months, right? From belly to back, then back to belly. Then they get up on their knees and they start creeping and crawling. Their head gets a lot more steady. Then they stand up and they crawl and creep on the side of the couch and along the coffee table. And then they attempt to take steps. That is gross motor first year. What ability is associated with development of fine motor skills in preschoolers? So, preschooler, ages 3 to 6, fine motor fingers, what should they be able to do? I put this question in here because there's fine motor and there's gross motors. Fine motor is the fingers. It's only drawing and buttoning. Crawling, running, jumping are all gross motor skills. And you read the question correct. Thank you. Good job. Which toy best supports fine motor skills in infants ages 9 to 12? And it's probably you're stacking your blocks. Toy cars could have something in it they could pinch their fingers in, but blocks, they're safe as long as they're big enough and they could stack of two by the time they're one. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't do more, but two is the minimum. Piaget school age development stage corresponds to what? School age. Remember, school age is all those weird words, right? And then I'm going to describe what all of them are since they're all in one place here. And school age is concrete. I've seen it, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can smell it. That is concrete. That's something that I have to see it in order to replicate it, my thinking, okay? Sensor motor is taking the rattle and shaking it and feeling it, okay? So I've taken the rattle in my hand and it made a noise, it shaked, and then I put it in my mouth. That's all part of cognitive development. Pre-operational is making blocks into a car or a broom into a horse or the arms for an airplane. Pre-operational. Concrete is school age, and then formal is your adolescence. They can figure their way to get anything they want. They used to try hard. According to Erickson, school age children are focused on what? So, school age children, it's industry versus inferiority. Again, Ericsson's industry is my factory, my house. What do I do well? Okay. Versus what can I do? That all that inferiority. So, school age children, as I said, school age, they love in Hesse's and in NCLEX, Ericsson, they just absolutely love of all of them. Developmental milestone. Infant weight doubles at. So we double our weight at 6 months old. So if a child weighs 6 pounds, at birth, they should be about 12 pounds. What if they were only 9 pounds? We've got to look at nutrition, don't we? Something's not right. Are they spitting up? Do we need to keep the food down by putting a little rice cereal in the formula or the breast milk to hold it down? Or what if they're 15 pounds and they should be 12? What's going on? Let's look at the nutrition. What are you feeding the child? Developmental milestone. The infant weight triples at. So we double at 6 months, triple at 1 year old. Now, as you go further, you're going to see questions that's going to give you a weight, birth weight, telling you how old they are. And you need to know, is it normal? Is it too not enough or is it too much? That's just giving you the guideline. What intervention would be done if it's too little? You're going to look again at nutrition. What do you need to do? Are they feeding them enough? Or do we need to increase calories? A multi. Infant nutrition includes. So one of the big things is no honey, no Caro syrup type thing for the first year. When I moved to Miami, I didn't know that there was this thing in some cultures that if they give an infant some honey, it will help them move their bowels if they were constipated. I didn't know that, but they say 1 year minimum, do not give it because you don't know if it's properly taken care of and pasteurized and all of that. The other thing is no cow's milk until 1 year. And remember, at 1 year, it should be whole milk. Do not take care of any fat. They need the fat. And finger foods, soft, small finger foods at 9 months should be offered. That takes the pincer grasp and lets them take it and use that finger grasp, that pincer. When should you start feeding babies solid food? So it's right around 6 months. You'll see some literature 4 to 6 months, but not before that. Why don't we feed babies food before 6 months, 4 to 6 months? Why not?
Choking hazard.
Okay.
They
But
can't
what's the
digest
main
it.
Their body can't digest all that.
there it is. Their GI system does not digest it well. They've done many changes in my career. I actually used to feed my kids at 4 to 6 weeks. They used to feed them, and now they find, of course, they're 40 years old now, but it is a change that they realized they were using all of this energy to eat, and they were getting none of the calories because it would come out in the stool. So we don't start to feed them to 4 to 6 months. And we should start them with rice cereal because it's the least allergenic for all of the children, okay? One of food at a time every 4 to 7 days. What is a common danger when feeding solid food to infants? And it's always going to be choking and allergies. Remember, as we're feeding them, they should be sitting up. We need to take time and patience. And as I said, when we're feeding them the solid foods, especially if they're at that 9 months and we're giving those soft, small little pieces, that we do not leave them unattended and that we do monitor them because of the choking. I mean, allergies, yes, we're going to check for that, but choking is a big one. Vaccination or immunization protects us from what? So vaccinations, as I said, are important. They prevent us from diseases, knowing that, not everybody does believe in them for whatever their reason is. You have to respect it. When I hear they don't get vaccinations, the first thing I do as a nurse, I put a mask on because I am immunosuppressed myself. I have to protect me. So if you ever hear it, that's what you do. Put a mask on, protect yourself. Toddlers' behaviors come from, as in why do they act the way that they do? Just think about Erickson. Autonomy versus shame and doubt. Automatically me, mine, mine, mine. And that's how you're going to remember that one because they want to be independent. This is intense exploration. There is a poster that I have on one of my PowerPoints regarding toddlers. Having a toddler is like having a blender with the lid off and turning it on. They are everywhere, all at once, all over the place. And that is a great description of a toddler. Autonomy, me, I'm going, it's me. Temper tantrums in toddlers are. So temper tantrums, absolutely normal in toddlers. They're just so frustrated. They're trying to do everything. We're trying to stop them and they just go crazy with it. So temper tantrums, toddlers, negativity, no, 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 me, mine, mine. Normal, normal, normal behavior in toddlers. A multi. Toddlers show signs when they're ready for potty training, like so when you start seeing them trying to go to bathroom, trying to pull down their diapers or whatever is on them, using the words and then staying dry for 2 hours, it's showing that they do have some control. Remember, bowel is first. You do bowel training before potty training because they can feel it better. Which is an essential aspect of potty training with toddlers. So potty training with toddlers, it's very frustrating because remember, toddlers want to do everything for themselves, right? They want to do me. And then they make accidents or they didn't get fully there or whatever. The first thing is never to ridicule them. Always use praise and always try to use positive reinforcement and being calm with it. It's hard to all of a sudden being, going into that diaper, and then all of a sudden you have to hold it and go find a place to go put it, right? And in toddlers, that's a big deal. So again, positive reinforcement, use praise and be calm, no negativity. What does egocentricity in preschoolers mean? So when you're egocentric, it means that you understand me, my ego, I understand this, but you don't understand somebody else. And preschoolers are that. They know what they want, but they cannot take what you're thinking and understand it. They don't want, they want what they know to be what it is. They don't want to take in point that, well, that kid doesn't want to do it, or this person doesn't like that. They want what they want. Ego-centristic. Piaget's stage of play. What does symbolic mean? Symbolic play. So symbolic means that something represents something. A block is a car, a broom is a horse, my arms are a plane. It symbolizes something. So imaginary or pretend play. Absolutely normal at this age. That's preschoolers and the end of toddlers. Bathtub safety. Do we have to worry about that? So with bathtub safety, again, never leave them alone. That's the big one. And of course, it's that hot water. I've actually seen a child come into an ER where the parents put the child down on their butt into hot water, and the buttocks and the back of the legs had burns on it. Now, was it intentional? I don't know. But I didn't follow it up that, after they left the ER. But again, hot water can cause problems just out of the tap with especially your young children. So start and end with cold water. Be careful with slipping, never leave them alone. And then, of course, setting that hot water heater. We don't think about it, but go into the sink, turn it on hot. It can get really piping hot and can really burn some of these kids. And remember, toddlers love to play, right? They love to go exploring and they want the water on, is one of the things they will do. So make sure that hot water heater is set. During the school age years, the rate of growth, how quickly do they grow? So school age, ages 6 to 12. It's a long period of time, but what we call it slow and irregular. It's 2 to 3 inches a year, but it's slow. And it doesn't go in some sort of 1 inch every 6 months. It's slow and irregular the way that they do grow. At what age is a child expected to be able to tie their shoelaces? Just having a grandson who just turned 8, in the house. It was the shoes and shoelaces, and when should they? They've got all of these Velcro straps today. Do they really need to tie their shoes anymore, right? But it's somewhere between, they say 7 to 8. Can it be earlier? Yes, but usually it's like 7 to 8. Just know that any child from about this age older should be able to tie their shoes. That's a big, fine motor, be able to do it. At what age do children begin walking alternating steps up the stairs supported? So remember, they start younger with just on their knees creeping up the stairs. And then they start going up the stairs one step at a time, holding on. Then they start walking up the stairs, alternating steps, holding on. And then they start walking up the stairs with no support. It's about 2 to 3 years old where they're still supported. They have to hold on to the handle or onto a hand, but they can do alternating feet. At what age can children walk up the stairs unsupported? Again, we're looking at how that gross motor skills develop. So by this age, this child is mobile. It's more apt for accidents, being out and getting ran over on their bikes in the front yard with driveways. And yes, I've seen, believe it or not, 3 different preschoolers, ages 3 to 4, that were on a bike or a tricycle out in the front yard in the driveway. I saw 3 ran over, 3 children. One, nothing happened. One ended up in the OR and had a long battle, and one didn't make it. So, this is the age preschooler that they're getting up and down stairs, they're getting more and more mobile. This is the age you have to be careful with. Preschoolers, they get into everything now because they are mobile. So, what is a latchkey child? What does that mean, latchkey? I was one of them. So a latchkey child is one that comes home from school, has a key to the door, and lets themselves in. This is a time where accidents could happen because they're home alone and now they've got to make their own choices. So these children really need some good safety education, don't they? Latchkey children have higher rates of accidents and isolation. Higher rates of accidents, and they feel isolated. I'm home alone. Let me make myself something to eat. I'm using the stove, the microwave. Oh, let me go swimming. There's a pool in the backyard. All of these things they're going to try. So we have to be aware that these kids are at a higher risk for accidents and at risk for feeling alone or isolated. Yes, they are. True or false? Sex education programs that teach contraceptive use increase adolescent pregnancy. So absolutely it decreases it because now we are giving them the tools that they need. If they make the decision to participate in sexual activities, now they're going to have something that can protect them from pregnancy or sexually transmitted diseases. Really important that us as nurses do those things. School nurses, high type of education that needs to be done. Which factor increases adolescent risk taking? You know, when you're in adolescence, and I used to say this to my children all the time, it's your buddies and them. Your buddies and them are over again, and you want to go out and do these crazy things. Yes, you said you're going to go play basketball. Are you really? All right, I'm going to go drive by and make sure because adolescents, they have their buddies in them that's going to come get them, and they're going to lead them on to do things that maybe they wouldn't have thought of themselves, you know? So, yes, your buddies are a big influence. So, multi. Depression in adolescence affects what? And depression in adolescence is big because of their body image and the changes. And also because looking for, their identity, right? Who am I? What do I want to be? Where do I fit? Depression is huge. It affects every part of their life: learning, memory, emotions, and coping. Depression is huge. And if an adolescent mentions that they or a buddy of them is feeling like they want to end their life, take it seriously. This is a high risk group. The first expected fine motor development milestone for an infant begins with what? What's the first fine motor? And remember, you're going to tell mommy that, oh, it was not a reflex. He did give you a nice hug. It's a reflex palmar grasp, okay? And they do that till about 4 or 5 months, and then it becomes voluntary. Give me that. I want it now. Infant development grows. What was the word that I used? Yes, ma'am. What's the first thing they do in development? They raise their head. So it is head to toe cephalocaudal. Very good. School age growth is typically, when you look at these questions and you're looking at age groups, look at school age is ages 6 to 12. That's 6 years. Which one of those makes sense? And the answer is slow and steady, 2 to 3 inches a year. It's not going to be rapid. It's not going to be minimal. It's not going to be a change of height or weight. No, everything. It's 6 years it's talking about. Freud, psychosexual theory. Which stage applies to adolescence, according to Freud? Remember, Freud's anything sexual, right? Which one is adolescence? So adolescence, and this is all about genitals, right? They're starting to figure out sexually who that they are. Oral would be the infants, everything in their mouth. Phallic, that's actually preschoolers. Latent, that crazy word, that's school age. What are safety issues for infant and toddlers? Infants and toddlers. So they're not running yet. They can't cross the street yet. An infant hasn't learned that yet. Running, skipping, jumping, they're not old enough. Choking, drowning, falls. Absolutely. A multi. What are safety concerns for infants and toddlers? I mean, safety is so many different things. We could go on and on about safety for this group, that group. I mean, when you're looking at safety, what is the age? Is it possible for them to jump an infant? So that'd be something you would think about. Falls, burns, poisoning, choking, drowning, car safety, strangulation, all of those things are possible for those age groups. And yes, they are all big safety concerns. Safety concerns for toddlers include everything except. Now, toddlers are ages 1 to 3. Their teeth are coming in, they're not falling out yet. It might be a safety concern for school age, because remember, they lose all of their baby teeth in the school age period. But in toddlers, dental health, no, they come up and they're fine. But bathtubs, the doorknobs, electrical sockets, all of those, ages 1 to 3, yes, we're going to be looking at that. What is an important safety feature when choosing toys for an infant or even children with cognitive delay? So you want toys that don't have small parts, whether anything from an infant goes into the mouth, and you need to be careful with small parts, even all the way up to school age. I mean, everything, as I said, go in the mouth, and you have to be careful. And again, it depends on cognitive where they are also. If they are delayed, that's going to make a difference in a choice in small parts. Safety considerations when children are riding bikes. So when they're riding a bike, you want to make sure they have the proper safety equipment on, that they're not riding out in the middle of the street, that there's some sort of path where they can go. And then, of course, making sure the bike is functional, it's not broken, so they don't get stuck somewhere with a broken bike. Vaccines prevent. So they prevent all different things. It's, of course, in the end, they do prevent death. But again, it's for illnesses. It prevents illnesses. It prevents the spread of things because you don't get the illnesses. So, I mean, I've had many parents say, do you believe in vaccines? And my answer is, well, if you have a disease that's a bad disease and a vaccine can prevent it, what's your choice? Do you want them to possibly get the disease, or do you want a vaccine that could prevent them from getting it or having a milder case of? It is a choice. I don't tell parents what to do. It's not my decision. But again, they don't have immunizations. I'm putting on a mask. I'm protecting me. And then I'm making sure any children around me are safe also. And last question. Children and infants should be properly restrained in motor vehicles. Is something we talked about in the very beginning, isn't it? So we should have a child in car seats whenever they're in a car. It should be rear facing until they're 2 years and 30 pounds, or you've gotten that okay from the physician. Booster seats, they say up to the age of 8. And then they should be in the rear seat. I think the new stuff is till they're 13. So, I mean, that's the new stuff that's out there. But again, what we need to know is rear facing car seat to 30 pounds until they're 2 years old, and making sure that they are restrained in a car. So let's see how you all did today. Number 3 is a Tiff. Good job, Tiff. Number 2, Punan. Good job, Punan. Number 1, Rebecca. And Kayla and Michelle. Good job, guys. Did you enjoy doing the Kahoots? Did it like feed into what I just was talking about and then brought it into a more understandable group instead of, so much information to look at? These are your key concepts. These are things, that you need to understand. And if you don't, go back and look them up. You're going to take a break till 4:30. We're going to come back and you'll take your quiz. You could study the information that I just give you and you'll do okay. All right. All right. See you at 4:30 Eastern time.